All right, good morning, everybody. That's this is Gina here, and we try to do a Facebook live stream. However, today Zoom and Facebook, I don't think they want to work with each other. It's okay. So we decided to record this conversation, and then we're gonna share in the Facebook group live, become a live recording. So welcome, Jackie here, right? And here I just want to be more specific because this group we called the Healing Circle. So this circle is we want to it's a supportive community that we want to encourage people to share and inspire and transform each other, right? And every week we invite on different guests for the different talents, a gift they that embody that we want to share with this group. So if you feel some healers or some content that feel resonate, feel free to reach out because we are here to support each other. And if you have some guests that you feel like their talents gift would benefit this group, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. So welcome, Jackie. We are finally here.
Yay.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your journey. We start chatting when we have technical difficulties. So you told me that you are living in Florida right now, and you moved there 4 years ago, right? And you are a beach girl. So
Yes.
I got. Yeah, tell us a little bit more of like what kind of the healing modalities that you embody and how it get you started. Like
Uh,
what moments in your life, right? Like wow, this is what I'm embodying now. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, when I was a kid, I was always into all things energy and things like that, tarot cards and, all the fun things that, I was always looking for things bigger than me. And you know what, I love being out in nature and connecting and things like that. I was never overly religious, even though I went to Catholic school for a few years when I was younger. That just didn't resonate with me. I do believe in God and things bigger than me, whatever that means for you. And that looks different for everybody. But the religion thing was just too small. Like what I believe in is just bigger than all of that. When you look at the stars and the ocean and the moon and, it's just bigger than all of that. So I was always connected to that. I did come from, some trauma and abuse. And so that led to me like checking out and medicating and things like that. And once I started my healing journey, the energy healing kind of took off, right? So now I'm healing, I'm being sober, I'm doing all the things, and now I'm conscious, so I can actually do more things instead of trying to escape. I'm running the other way, and now I want to heal. What I
Mhm.
didn't realize is when I first started my healing journey, especially with energy work when I got sober, is that I was going to all the healers and I wanted them to heal me. And that's not the answer. But I thought it was, right? So I paid a lot of people a lot of money to take things out of me, to heal me, and to bypass essentially doing my own
Mhm.
work. But it felt good in the meantime, right? It always feels good to go to a healer or have somebody work on you or to go to a sound bath or whatever. It just feels good. So, I thought I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. What I was avoiding was my own inner work. I was avoiding going to a therapist. I was avoiding dealing with all that trauma and abuse and all the things and all the places inside of me that I did not want to go. So my take is on energy healing. I love it. I will always love it. It has saved my life in a lot of ways, and it is complementary to everything else that I needed to do.
Yeah.
I needed to go deep inside. I need a therapist. I still have a therapist. I need to be
Mhm.
able to download what's going on in my life and to process, all the unprocessed material. I had to feel all the grief that I did not want to feel and every other feeling that I did not want to feel. And no healer is going to be able to be all of that to all of that. I also had to learn with energy healing the hard way, that they don't have my answers. They might have their answers, but they don't have my answers. The only place I can find my answers is deep down inside of me. A good teacher or healer or therapist, regardless of what they are, energy healer or therapist or whatever, a doctor, the best kind are the ones that direct you and point you toward yourself. That's what I've learned. And that's the kind of, teacher, healer, mentor, counselor that I have tried to be. I want to take responsibility, teach a man to fish, so to speak, instead of giving them the
Yeah.
fish. That's not
Yeah.
the answer. So in that journey, in doing all the things while I was getting sessions with all of these people before I started doing therapy and going really through all of the work required, because spiritual healing is not fun and it's not love and light,
We
like
do
it's
have love and light.
there is love and light in there and it does feel good. But when you're doing deep spiritual healing, if you have to do a lot of trauma work and walk through that, it does not feel good at all. So when you're walking through that, the grace on that, or the compliment to that, is then go get an energy healing session after you've done some really good deep processing. Then go get an energy healing session so they can clear all of that, or maybe get one before and after. But
Hmm.
it's just not the, entire answer for things. And,
Yeah.
and I'm never going to be claimed to be somebody's all or end all or whatever to anything. I am from New Jersey, as I said, so I'm a call it as you see it kind of girl. I really am very good. My intuitive gifts are knowing.
Mm.
So sometimes I don't even know how I know, but I just know. So I can cut through all the noise with people that I'm working with because I can clearly see what they're not seeing. And I can dive deep into things that they're not, ready to or wanting to or what have you. But I see the issues. And then it's a matter of whether they're ready to take responsibility for their stuff and do it or not.
Yeah.
And I can, basically just help guide them. And then the rest of that is up to them. So in the energy healing journey, I decided, well, why am I just going to go to these healers? I should just get certified in everything. So I went and got certified in everything like 20 years ago, right? Reiki, IET, Rising Star, EFT, sound healing, like tuning forks. I can just go on. There's just like
Mhm.
anything that I was attracted to, I decided to get certified in, and never knowing how that was going to show up later or how I was going to use any of that. And nor did I even care, right? It was novelty at the time. Like I said, I was doing anything to escape myself, which again was not the answer, but it led me to healing. So everything's in order, right? So in doing all of that, I found the things that I liked. I wound up teaching Reiki, and then Holy Fire Reiki came on the scene, and I loved Holy Fire. I knew when that came out in 2015, when that was downloaded to the planet, I knew I needed to be teaching that. And I just loved it. I love the energy of it. And then you're guided wherever you're guided. I'm very much into ascended masters and things like that. So I've worked with Alana Fairchild and taking several of her courses and got certified in the Kuan Yin transmission and
Cool.
Rosa Mystica and all things divine feminine. I am attracted to going to sacred sites, which has nothing to do with certifications. And certainly nobody's paying me yet because I would love to do retreats there. Like I see people doing them all over the place, but I just personally feel called with other groups of women who are doing the same kinds of work to go to these power spots on the earth, so to speak, in different countries and in our country, and to, anchor light into the land and to receive transmissions from the land, and then to come back and to, do, and anchor that light and to be that light for whoever needs it in our communities. And I think that that's all of our work, whether we know it or not, consciously or unconsciously. That's, our work. And that is energy healing on another level. It's just doing it more directly with whatever you believe in, but for me, like a lot of that stuff is ascended masters and different beings and things like that that are calling us, right? Because there's just a lot going on in the world, as we
Yeah.
all can see. And so much of the world, especially in our country, is divided right now. And when you have a divided country like that, somebody or half of the country, when it does wake up, and it doesn't matter what you believe, because half of them are not going to be accurate. When that cognitive dissonance, and because I've went through so much abuse and trauma, when they do come out of the dream state of the Kool-Aid that they drank, they're going to be disorientated. They're going to need help. They're going to need people like us who have been anchoring light and doing our own work to show them the way, not to heal them, but to show them the way in the ways that we've been doing that. And the best thing that we can do for ourselves, for our country, and for the planet is to do
Mhm.
our own work. The more you can do your own work, the more grounded you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to be of service in your communities. And it doesn't have to be woo woo or energy healing. It's just, you'll just be able to be a clearer channel, a clearer vessel because you have cleared out all the, the gunk and the muck and all of your work, whatever that is for you, to be able to be of service or maximum service to others. So, after that, I will say I have severe ADHD and meditation when I was doing all of this. Like if somebody was doing energy healing on me, I was
Yeah.
fine. I could lay there. But when it came to meditation while I was doing this, I couldn't sit still, let alone be still on the inside. So
Yeah.
sound healing and tuning forks and things like that were definitely instrumental in me being able to, because of the way that they clear out and clear your cells on a cellular level, and the way that they flood light into you, whatever it is, the connection between sound healing and ADHD and neurodivergency
Mhm.
is amazing in how much it can reorganize and rewire certain things, even if it's only temporary in my body. And now my body requires that on the regular. It
Yeah.
just loves it and soaks it up and things like that. So that's pretty much been my healing journey. And and I'll, of course, continue to evolve and grow. And as I'm called, wherever that is, and in
Yeah.
our planet, I will go and do whatever I'm called to do and try to be of maximum service to myself and others.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your healing journey. And this is a no short answer, right? Especially when you're looking back and that's everything start pretty early. So there's a lot of like juicy part I want to get into. But first of all, I
Sure.
want to honor you to be vulnerable to share those experience. And I think that's exactly what's this group for, because doesn't matter where we are right now, we all went through a lot of things, right?
Of
So
course.
talking back to you, because you touched on so many spots that I can resonate, and I think, for the people who are, if you feel you are, confused, you feel like something's going on with you and don't know where to start, which we're gonna get there, but just let you know that, like we talk about that, when you go to see healer, I'm very the same page as you. Like every time people come to me, I was, yeah, you always gonna come to me. I'm always gonna be here. But I think hopefully after 3 months is a healing journey with me, because we dive deep into those things that you used to, you go to look at it. But I hopefully like later you can walk with by yourself. I will walk next to you, but I'm not supposed to walk for you. So any healing work, like you said, I don't have the answer for you. You have your answer, but I will go to find this answer with you, because sometimes you do not know where to dig it. And you have the key. I don't have the key, but I could be the person next to you. When you open that door, you don't freak out, or you know how to. You have feel like somebody is hold somebody's hand. When I go inside, I don't freak out that badly, but you will have this emotional turmoil. So I tell them like, okay, if you're not ready, we're not gonna go there. Whenever you're ready, let me know. I will go there with you. But eventually come out, you're gonna live your life, right? So this is very kind of like, share with people that your work is meant for you to do. However, you don't even have to rush as well. Like, a lot of time healers, we dive into so deep, want to figure out everything, but you realize that they all have different level, depends on
Yeah.
where you go. And you always have more to work with, because you always can
Always.
expand, right? So if you if you would share with the people who are, because you went through the both sides of the coin, right? And we are still going to see different sides, and maybe there are four sides. Now we're not talking about the, front and back. But for someone walk through, you mentioned some trauma, some abuse, some sober, things like that. Now, for the people who you also touch on that, like, people need to do their own work. But what if the people at the stage, they do not know where to look into? How would you suggest, or what kind of self-guidance you can share with people that they might can, because if they don't realize they need to change, they will not do any changes. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
Yes.
self-awareness journey, but how can you teach people to self-aware and
Right.
start to seeking advice, right? That's a chicken and egg. It's like, yeah, I know I need help, seeking help, but I don't know what's going on with me. So is there anything that you want to share, like can guide people?
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question. So in the beginning, I was guided, like, I would say listen to your inner guidance. And when you're in pain, it's hard
Hmm.
to get quiet and go there, right? So
Yeah.
if you can't get still, like somebody like me, my brain is going all the time, all the time. So to get to that still voice inside of me for the guidance was not happening. So the best I could do was kind of just be intuitively led to wherever that is. There are so many great coaches,
Be open,
therapists,
right? Yeah.
obviously a good therapist. Now, if you can't afford a therapist or a coach, and I couldn't when I was getting sober and doing all that, I didn't have money. I kind of lost all of that in doing all of those things. So there's plenty of 12-step support groups or
Yeah.
just regular support groups for whatever you're going through. If there's a thing, there's a support group, whether it's an ADHD support group or a grief support group or processing group or trauma group. The other great things are, like when you move to a new community or you're trying to find your people and find your community, is what resonates with you, what does feel good, into the level that you can feel or you can, you know, um, dive a little bit, even if it's only to hear. Just reach out to things like that. It might start with a hobby that you forgot about when you were a kid. Join a meetup group. There's meetup.com that you can just join groups of things that you like. It might be knitting, it might be whatever. Wherever you find your people and you start connecting, when you start connecting, all problems are like, or all fears and all problems become half, right? But you have to be able to feel safe to be able to share things. And if you don't feel safe, you're not going to. So I feel like it doesn't necessarily have to look like a therapist or a coach or a healer, or it could,
Yeah.
or it could be a support group, or it could be a knitting circle, or it could be a book club. But it's if you find your people and you find some safety, you'll feel safe enough to open up. A lot of the work that I've had to do with the trauma and the abuse was to be able to create the safety within myself, because I was looking to the outside to fill up the hole in my soul on the inside. And
Yeah.
I've had to learn how to create that safety within myself. But you have to, like you said, start someplace. I don't care if it's a hobby or just go out in nature, but connection, we're on this planet to not do this by ourselves. We're on this planet to do it together. Connection is everything. And that's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn as a woman. Women are tough. We need each other, especially right now. And we need to collaborate and come together and work together. I love men, but men like to keep us separated, because if we're not talking to each other, they get to keep the story going.
Because they don't feel safe as well. So we all the
Yes.
safety, and I feel like one side need to open up. When you are, sometimes people say when you are in a very intense relationship or toxic relationship, the hard part is when you feel hurt, you close your heart, and other people feel the rejection, resentment, and they started closing the heart. So when they closing heart, our heart close even more. So and then,
Yeah.
like the question is who whose turn who should open their heart? And but the thing is like, that's one thing I should bring to my awareness is like, I don't know what to watch a video or something, but it makes sense. It's like they already heart closed, you realize your heart is closed, but their heart will not be open first because you it will take time because they are not in your control. Sometimes we are not even in our control. So when you compare to difficulty level, is you realize that either I can, for whatever reason, I can accept or do some inner work to not let that bother you, but probably open our own heart first would probably is a solution because on the other end, you can expecting them to, you can push them, but if their heart get closer, your heart will get even closer. I know it's a really hard one, but I just realized now the separation now, even women between women with women, right? Women, we came for a long time. I think 5 years ago, we probably were not going to have those conversations here because I realized when I started my healing business, like you sense those, oh, what you doing? What I'm doing? Oh, you trained that thing. I never heard of that. So it's kind of feel threatened. And it's, I started a healers group 5 years ago when I just moved to this area. It is going on for a couple months and it stopped. It's just simply I know the energy was not ready. And then now you're looking at now like people, I personally don't feel threatened or anything. I was like, wow, beautiful. I never heard of those like certain things you said that you trained 20 years ago. I had no idea. I was like, what is that? I'm still curious about it. Not say I'm gonna go train about it, but I think though, like it's so dynamic. Everybody is coming in with different gift and talents, and I'm like, wow, I want to learn as well to just be understanding how that works, you know. So the safety, come back to safety. For what if this person that like a lot of things we share right now is for people who are actively seeking, right? They just don't know
Yeah,
where to start. But there's
right,
another group of people are they don't feel safe and they are isolating themselves and they want to help, but they also don't know. They're not comfortable to go engaging, go to find a support group, put you also to have the 12 steps, things like that. That
right.
takes a lot of vulnerability. And then, but some people are in the share. So maybe they are watching this video, when we post that, right? So like when it comes to into my mind, it's like, okay, just you can be an observer. That's my perspective, is like you can observe. There's so many free content all there, like people putting all there. Like I putting so much
Absolutely.
on YouTube, so much on TikTok, and I'm also creating a uh called a Mighty Network. It's a community that I will even this video I'm gonna put on there too. So there are a lot of guidance that it's not cost you. But if you want to specifically, let's say somebody want to work with you, somebody work with me, yes, that one-on-one time energy you do need to invest. And I always ask people, yes, you might don't have much, but when you make an order, a command in your mind, the universe will deliver. It say, okay, I want to find somebody I really want to work with a a very like a reasonable price. You will be
Yeah.
surprised when you make command, universe deliver, and the universe will
Yes.
guide you. But I think the part is whether you are on the fence of like, oh, I don't want to, I'm not ready to, and the universe gonna manifest it and mirror back to you, right? But this is on my suggestion. But do you have any other suggestions for people that hey, who's isolating, who's not sure whether
Right.
they even worthy? That's part of the people is like, okay, am I worthy to be living the life? What is my self-doubt and questioning whether they should be here? Yes, you're supposed to be here. However, so is there something that you want to offer? Because I don't want, feel like, yeah,
Okay, so here's the thing, right?
yes.
Now we're gonna get real now.
Mhm. Yep.
There's tons of content out there. There's tons of free stuff out there, but all content is not equal, right? People say a lot of things. People with big marketing budgets, it may look pretty on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, but that doesn't necessarily mean people have done their work. When you
True.
know, or when you feel in your soul that somebody has done their work, they're
Mm.
going to make you do your work. They're going to guide you. They're not going to promise you and ask you to come follow them. That would be a
Mhm.
cult.
Yeah.
So you have to recognize the difference, right? So learning how
Discernment. Yeah.
to discern what that looks like. So safety, for instance, like how would you tell? How can you know? Somebody who's done their work. There's a lot of talk about holding space for people. People will say, oh, my job is to hold space for you. Like I said to you earlier, when I get called to sacred sites in other countries or our country to anchor light into the planet, I'm basically sitting on the land in these places that I'm called mountaintops, pyramids, caves, wherever I'm called to go. I'm sitting there basically, taking in whatever the land is offering me, whatever the ascended masters are giving me information wise, right? I'm downloading that information and then I'm bringing it back to be of service to other people. But I've had to be able to do my work to do that. So in order to hold space or anchor light, that means if you're coming to me and you're like, oh my God, I need help, I need guidance, I need direction, I need whatever. If I haven't done my work, that means that I can only anchor or hold space for you to
Yeah.
the degree in which I've done it for myself. So if you went to therapy or started whatever spiritual journey you're doing and you've only got to here, and that's not time. That's not, oh, I've only been doing this a year or 5 years or 20 years. You could do it for 50 years. But if you
Mhm.
haven't gone to the places inside of you that you don't want to go, the deeper you can go, the more work you have actually done on yourself and healed. and not get triggered anymore, on the regular, you can hold space that far for somebody else. But if you only held space this far, you're going to know that pretty quick in somebody else, because if you're trusting that other person with your life and your traumas and you're this or you're that, whether you're paying them or not, and they can only hold space to here, you're going to know, because you'll feel safe for a little while with them
Mm-hmm.
until you get to here. But then if you start diving deeper and they haven't, you're not going to feel safe again. So you'll feel safe in the beginning with them because they've done some work, but at some point, you're not going to feel safe. The minute you don't feel safe with a healer, coach, therapist, I don't care who, you got
Yeah.
to go,
Yeah.
because now you're abandoning yourself. Now you've walked into, and it's okay that they haven't done their work. You thank them for what they were able to hold space for you for, and then you move on to somebody who can hold it a little longer. And I like what you said about that there's free content everywhere. I think that everybody should offer free content. Then there should be another level. It shouldn't just be like free content and then work with me for $5,000. I think it should be, everybody, you got to meet people where they're at, right? When I first started going to therapy, I was on a sliding scale. Like sometimes I gave her $20, sometimes I gave her $70, like whatever I had. And thank God that I had therapists and people and healers who were willing to work with me when I had money and when I didn't have money. They weren't about the money. They were about helping me to help myself, to be mirrors for me.
Yeah.
Um, and so I like the idea of groups. So like when I work with people, yes, I work with people one-on-one. I run healing groups. I run a healing group that's more spiritual and things like that, right? And then I also run an empowerment circle. So it's for somebody, say they don't have money to work one-on-one with you, but maybe they have $20 to come to a healing group or a sound healing if I'm doing a sound bath, or whatever that is. And then sometimes I just go out into the community, like be a resource in your community. There's so much in your community. Go look in your
Yes.
community as well as online. Like get outside. I'll do by donation for certain things, and I'll go, volunteer and do that. Like I feel like there should be a mixture of everything. That's how I feel like I'm being of service anyway.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that part. And then safety is so important. And I love the part you touch on that, every healer, they are on different journey. And I always tell people it's like you don't need to be fully healed to support other people because you always
No,
attract the people who needs your medicine and gift. But also
absolutely.
when you get triggered, and I love the word triggered because before I don't like that. Nobody want to get triggered, right? But now if I get triggered, I was like, all right, let's see what's which part because you get curious about it, because
But that's our work. Like
yeah,
what
it's
you
our
want
work.
to do. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
your
if
work.
nobody triggers you, then you cannot do the work. So now say I'm looking for a lot of triggers, which means that then I'll be in deep trouble, which means me probably I need to be like doing my inner work of, just you had years of those I don't want to say isolation, but you are in the cave, right? You literally universe that provides those time and space for you to heal. But now, like, once a while I get triggered, or sometimes it's not would be triggered. That was something very sneaky. They don't show up as like big magnets or whatever. It's
Right.
I don't know which part of the things that I don't feel, 100% sure. But it's not like a quite I'm mad or not. I'm not mad or not. It's just some things that just I know something's there, but just I just don't know. So I will meditate and sit with it. Oh, wow, this piece is sneaky. This piece is actually from where the corner because now you have tools, right? I think that it's great that we have tools. Then now when we are working with other people, it's more of like, okay, I will see whether this tool going to help you. If I don't have the tool help you, am I going to refer you to actually somebody have better tool for you? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Right.
Right?
I love
Yes.
that.
Yeah, so the safety is really important, and like have discernment is so important in spiritual work, in any work. I'm like seriously in
Yes,
relationship, you gotta have discernment. However, discernment is also sometimes you need to
absolutely.
pay a little bit tuition to get just discernment. You
And
sharpen.
sometimes, yes, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. I needed to learn the hard way. I needed to be like, let me trust them completely. And then I needed to get leveled. I'm the one who's going to put my heart out there and get my heart broken a million times. But I would rather do that and have my heart open. And that doesn't mean that my heart doesn't get closed down, because as soon as I
Oh
get
yeah.
my heart broken, my heart closes back down again. But then once I do some healing on whatever that was that I allowed myself to be vulnerable in, then I can go back out and try again. And it's practice, practice, practice,
Yeah.
practice, you know?
So next question, I think I want to get to the healing modality. Obviously, you have different healing tools. Probably your tool belt is very, very full, right? Some of the tools you probably just like you don't really use until that emergency come in. You don't use that one. So by
Yes.
default, right now in our group, most people are probably, we all say we are on our spiritual healing journey. If you could choose, one or two that you want to feel like everybody could use a little bit of that, or you say,
Yeah.
I'm specializing in this specifically. I just want to give you the platform to share the healing tools. So people, if they feel resonates, they will kind of probably gonna like reach out to you. Feel free to, invite the people who think this group will be benefit them as well. I don't want to be the person, hey, invite. I actually went on a place they like invite all your friends to this group. I'm like, my friends they are all over the range. Some of they are very open to spiritual work. Some of them probably completely not. And I'm okay with
Right.
as a friend, as holding space. It's not me to judge where you at. It's like, okay, I love you all until one day you show me that we are not on the same level. I think universe will slowly just either you're gonna be they will slowly fall off. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yes.
need to just
Yes.
say kick you out or whatever. But I'm like, I'm not, I have people to invite all their friends, but you never know. Some people, they might, like said, some of them, they might work with you for so long time, but they also looking for some other, people to work with. But yeah, back to the things that you want to share with the people that like, something that you specialize or somebody could use a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like I said, I teach a bunch of programs or what have you, but for the most part, if people are attracted to me or tend to, magnetize towards me, it's usually because they need to work through some stuff. And that's not like, put in a cookie cutter little box, which is why, like I said, you have to have things at different price points. You have to have donation. You have to have, like low cost groups. And I feel like the power of a group is awesome because you might all be going through different things, but usually whoever shows up in those groups, we all help each other, which is awesome. And I can just hold space for that, which is great. And then, if people need to do deeper diving healing, I do, one-on-ones. And like I said, I do retreats and things like that. I don't really advertise that right now, but I will. I get called a lot. When I get back from, doing spiritual work on the land, people are like, oh my God, that's so fascinating. You were in Egypt or France or Peru or wherever you were, like tell me all about it, working with shamans and up in the mountains. And I want to hear all about that. I never thought that that would be a thing where people would do it. And of course, once you start doing it, like it's all over the internet. Once you start talking about it, it's like on your phone and in your Facebook feed, like everybody's doing their own thing. But
Yeah.
again, like I said, you got to use discernment because what people are saying or dressing up and making it look pretty with their marketing doesn't mean that they're doing the real work. That's why you have to like go work with whoever you want, pay them whatever you want, whatever that looks like for you. But if it starts to not feel as good as it did in the beginning, you might want to rethink it and find somebody that it feels good all the time.
Yes, yes. And how people can find you, like your website or
Okay, yeah, sure, sure, sure. So, of course, just because like I'm always evolving and growing, I'm in the middle of, creating a new website because I'm doing a lot more speaking and things like that and walking through my own fears. Like I have no problem. I've been, teaching and speaking and doing all kinds of things live for, 27 years. And
yeah.
now I'm tackling my fears. My fears are that little dot in the camera. My fears are doing camera work and things like that.
Okay.
I love talking to you, but I want to look at you on the other side of the little Hollywood screen thing. I don't want to look at that little dot up there, but apparently that's where you have to look if you're connecting with people. And
Yeah.
I find the camera thing, that's my challenge. And this is my work that I'm walking through right now. So I'm
Mhm.
not exempt. I'm always going to be doing work, but that's I'm moving towards that. But my old website is still active. It's
Yeah.
my name right at the bottom of the
Yes.
screen,
Yep.
JackieGrillon.com.
Hmm.
And the new one that's only in little, it's got like a free download and you can connect with me there too. And if you can hop on a free call with me as well. And the name of that is Jackie, my first name, inspires.com. And so
Inspired.
that's, still in construction, but it does have some things there or whatever else. But I would love to connect. I
Yeah.
love talking all things woo woo. And like I said, I feel like you said, you have to have it for both because not everybody is woo woo, but there's going to be people who are attracted to you, and I want to be all inclusive. I don't want to be some exclusive what have you. I know we all have our niches and what have you, but whoever feels called to me, we're going to figure it out, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, to me, woo woo is you are walking in the world. Some people are walking through different worlds. You believe it or not, there are more
Yes.
worlds we can even gravitate in the physical world. And I usually with people just like you meet where people's at, and you give them what they can take, but also
Absolutely.
like your conversation level up, right? In some conversation, you go super deeper into the space and into the different spirits and different realm ascended masters because
Yeah.
very interesting with the Kuan Yin because from my lineage when I'm looking back, oh my goodness, yeah, like so I do channel a lot of time. Sometimes I don't need to channel. It's because you embody that
Yes.
kind of energy. So Kuan Yin has been. I have so many Kuan Yin statues in my house. You can see it right in front behind my computer. That's one. But for this group, I just feel like it's great to help people to meet different teachers, not in an hour half content, but in a short content. And then they curious, they interest, they can check out. It's
Yeah.
just free. It's a free platform, right? Like you said, you have
Yeah.
all different kind of platform. And for my like Mighty Network is will be for free for people to join, but they have different tiers of
Yeah,
different
of course.
points. Because I realized that when you do one, not everybody have $150 or
No,
$200 to go to come
exactly.
to see you for an hour and a half or an hour. And I'm like, okay, but what are some other ways that I can support? And this is one of them. And I'm glad you are join us and join us. I'm gonna release this video right after we done here. So because I promised people live now, I'm probably gonna tell people from now on, I'm probably gonna just record it and just share there Wednesday morning, same thing.
There you
So
go.
really thank you for coming up. If you're interested to join us or join me with our other platform to share
I
more
would love that.
stories,
Yes, I would
things
love
like
that.
that, and I will send you a link. And then when I post this video on in our Facebook group, feel free to if I misspelling whatever your website things, let me know, or you can comment below there with your website because I want to
Okay,
encourage
great.
to. I'm not encouraging people to be like bombarding with group. Oh, this is what I do. This is a retreat. But I think have necessary information. If people like, I give you options, right? I give people choices. It's your decision which one feel resonate. I'm not going to be responsible for that. What I'm responsible for, to bring the healers, the energy worker or people who is authentic, and share their story. And with my star is here.
Oh, your guardian.
Oh yeah, she is definitely. She's definitely. But I'm gonna wrap up here. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week, next Wednesday. Thank you.